Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of the True Story News podcast. I'm out here on my parents' property, just chilling. Much needed R&R, and of course, I was here to see my mom for Mother's Day. It was much needed, time, little break. Um, and yeah, I kind of explained a little bit of my absence from social media for the past few weeks. Some people were asking. To be honest with you, if I were posting like 2-3 weeks ago, I'd be very inauthentic. I would be very dishonest and hiding the fact that things were not okay. I was dealing with a lot. Um, Weeks ago, I was dealing with loss, people leaving, dealing with identity fraud. I was dealing with an Airbnb squatter. I was dealing with a lot of things simultaneously coming at me at the same time. And there's other things that are a little bit more personal that I won't talk about. Because, yeah, not that I don't want to be transparent, but you can't put your business out there. But I was dealing with a lot of stuff. And so much so that it almost seemed, well, it seemed very unusual, very, very, very strange. And my intuition was correct that it was a spiritual breakthrough. And with me, I kind of explained it all on my other platform, Rockfin. If you guys want to check it out, I was talking about it a little bit more in depth, and I won't do that here on this platform. But anytime there's things like this going on that seem a little weird and a lot of things happening, it usually means it's shift time. It's time to level up. There's things about myself that I was doing that I needed to change. And, you know, for example, people leaving, like I'm not the type of person that people respond to negatively or block or do things like that. Because why? Like, I don't bring about that kind of energy, but that was happening during this time period. With all this other crazy stuff, someone assuming my identity, writing checks, and I'm having to go to the bank and explain, hey, that's not me. And they had to give me my money back and doing all this stuff. Like, well, what is going on? And I did some medicine, and yeah, what my intuition told me was correct. This is a time for a paradigm shift, and there's a lot of things that about myself that I needed to look into. And one of those things is communication. And I'm speaking about this because everybody, to each his own. Each person, each of you have your own cycles to break. And when I did the medicine, kind of like with a why me? Like why people, responding so viciously to me? Like I'm not that guy. Like what's going on? I am not that guy. Um, Answers came swift, and basically the nutshell. This is my downloads. It's but I'm sharing it. Basically, change does not come through comfort, and that's what I had to learn. Yeah, you are, a nice guy. Everybody likes you. You're not going to learn your lessons in comfort, and you need to feel. And some of the downloads was just like, don't take things too personally. People reacting to you, they're going through their own stuff. They're processing things. You don't deserve, a lot of, the energy that went into the decisions made, but that will be realized in time. Respect people's processes, respect people's, life journey, and don't worry about your reaction and worry about what you're meant to learn. Did I deserve some of the things? No. Um, did I drop the ball on a lot of things? Yeah. I did not show up for a lot of people in the way I probably should have. And my job is to focus on that, what I did. And one of my things is communication. And, for me to level up to the next stage of my life, which is going to happen, there's going to be a lot of things that are going to happen. I have some ventures, but in order to deserve these things that I'm manifesting, you got to break cycles. I have to break cycles. And I have a cycle of bad communication, not being authentic and present with people in my life. And I had to get that download through pain and through people leaving that, yo, this thing's wrong. And one of the things that I had to grapple with was that with creative gifts, with these comes eccentricity, comes so many blessings and so many curses. One of the blessings is that, I do my own thing. I work, I employ myself, I'm doing well. One of the downsides is that I've become socially handicapped. I do weird things. I send stupid emails and WhatsApp messages instead of at bad times, instead of being authentic, real, in the flesh, communicative, self-expressive. I've become socially handicapped. I work in a box all day, every day, no human contact, very little interaction. I don't really leave my house. I work all the time. And the byproduct of that is social awkwardness. And you can't expect everyone to understand, because people won't. You got to fix it. And, communication is something that every one of us has cycles and things that we're meant to learn. And if you don't learn it in comfort, the pain's going to come. And I had to think about that because sometimes when you don't break your cycles, you can't be there for people when they need you or where they can use a helping hand or they're going through life problems and you're just psychologically all screwed up worrying about nonsense when some real stuff is going on and you can't be present. You have to fix your mental health. You have to be aware of your mental health and the things going on with you. And I got these powerful downloads to make some changes. Don't worry about people, don't worry about other people, don't worry about who you are will always shine through whatever anyone thinks of you. If you really are a good person and you really are on your path, you have nothing to worry about. You have nothing to worry about. And that's what Spirit told me when I felt shunned. I felt, oh, he who shall not be named. And I felt like all this stuff was going on. I don't have to worry about anything. In time, who you are will shine through, even if it's not seen. All these things. Well, let me tell you about the Airbnb. Yeah, man, it's just I opened myself up to a lot of things things that are energetically sucking the life out of me. And Airbnb, basically, I moved out of New York and rented my house in New York, moved to Florida, and it was supposed to be a short-term rental. Someone decided to squat. That's been energetically sucking life out of me. Energetically, they've been causing a lot of structural damage to the house. My cousin had to call me and be like, you got to get out of here. So I came to the Northeast. I'm in the Northeast now, and to kind of help push things along and get them out, go to the courts, do what I need to do. Um, Someone is assuming my identity, writing checks. Someone opened the credit card in my name. There's all this stuff coming at me, and all this is to prepare me for the next thing. Because you know what? There's going to be larger sums of money that I'm going to have to be dealing with soon, and I can't operate the same. I can't make the same mistakes because I'm going to have a world of problems when I level up. I'm going to have a world of problems if I don't learn how to communicate with the people in my life and be present like a masculine, divine masculine man and fully balanced and healthy. Because when people have problems, if you're all screwed up, you can't help them. You can't be present. So these are all my personal stuff that I really won't go into, but it's just to really explain. Hey, I was not posting. I was not present on social media because I had a lot of stuff to do and a lot of things to really, really ponder about. And I'm good now. I'm very good now because you just got to learn to not take things personally. Even people who are attacking you, these squatters, these people assuming my identity. Hey, you know what? They're at that vibrational level where they feel that they need to do that. Who am I to judge? They're going to get karmically what they got coming to them. You know, um, you got to worry about yourself. I've made disastrous uh, decisions. You know, sending emails while drunk, not really saying what I want. It's just a mess. It's just a mess. And then trying to do damage control. I have a lot to level up. I have a lot to fix and correct. And I'm good. Everything's gonna work out. Everything's gonna work out. And that's what I was told. Everything's gonna work. Even the Airbnb. I'm gonna make out nice because it's like they have insurance for this type of stuff. And to stay the course, yes, I'm spending a lot of money to fix the damage and get this person out, get a lawyer, but it's all going to come back to me. This is to learn lessons and to not fall into the same traps. And I can go on into detail, but it's not a good idea to go into the other stuff that's really going on with me. But just to let everyone know, yeah, I'm fine. I'm on the mend. Everything's all good. And yeah, just explaining my absence for a little bit. So let's talk about some of the issues. I also talked about this in Rockfin. What are people talking about? There's so much talk about Johnny Depp and that trial, and it's distraction. It's the bread and circus. But there's a good thing in that dynamic because a lot of people are starting to realize the Me Too nonsense. Like people lie, people are wicked, and a lot of them happen to be female. So this believe women rhetoric is idiotic from start, and people are really there's a paradigm shift where people are waking up. People don't really understand that a lot of people are well intentioned and they mean well and they want to follow movements that speak to their ideology. But feminism at the core of a lot of these liberal groups isn't evil. They don't understand. They don't understand, and they use us and manipulate. We want to do the right thing. We want to be good. There's a lot of people in society on whatever side of the fence, the red team, the blue team, people who want to be good. And they want to back the right horses, but they're being played and manipulated by their morality. And they're backing these movements that they don't understand. Source is evil, is a great evil. And you see liberal media trying to make a case for Amber Heard. And the truth is, she's a liar. She's a disgusting liar. She's an abuser, physically and emotionally. And everybody had it twisted. She told everybody the opposite and spun it on Johnny Depp. She's a manipulator, and people are starting to scratch their head and say, "Hey, maybe we shouldn't have such a vicious, guilty until proven innocent society that we've created." Because there's a liberal feminist cult that is just insane, insane, completely insane, and it's created a McCarthyism of our day, in which people are going to there's a hell on earth that they brought in this feminists a real hell on earth, and people are really starting to wake up and realize, what, we should always be a little objective. We should never just believe anyone, men, women. We shouldn't. That is not thinking. That is stupidity. You don't just believe women. You know how many black men were lynched and because a woman lied. You know how many women lie on a regular basis to cover infidelity, to revenge infidelity, or to women lie, men lie. People are good, people are bad, and people are realizing, what? They viciously attacked Johnny Depp, removed him from movies. They did all this stuff because this nonsensical believe women idiocy, lunacy has just taken hold, and we're going to have a lot of things to clean up. And that's why a lot of my videos on my main channel went viral, because I was trying to explain this to people years ago. With the Bill Cosby situation, you have all these women, they're lining up, they're lying through their teeth. Look, here's the evidence. You couldn't get people to think, believe women, you hate women. These people have gone insane. They've lost their mind, and it's going to be a lot of work to get them back. There's a lot of damage. Really beautiful out. What other bread and circus events? Dave Chappelle. A lot of people are starting to realize that the world is a stage. These things are not accidents. And the person that just happened to be, you know, there with Dave Chappelle was Chris Rock. Was that Will Smith? The bread and circus. Like, how did this poor homeless black man with nail polish afford a Dave Chappelle ticket and rush the stage in a very, very, very I heard security was stiff in these places, metal detectors. But this homeless guy afforded the ticket and ran up on stage. Yeah, these distractions are just gonna keep coming and coming and coming. What are they not talking about? What are they not showing you? Roe v. Wade that's been dominating the news. Everybody's talking about Roe v. Wade, and I got nothing to say about that. Because there's a middle ground. There's a middle ground. And what is that middle ground? I'm pro. I'm pro-choice. I've always been pro-choice, but not from the liberal Democrat plantation side of the fence. I don't agree with any liberal ideology. I woke up from that a long time ago. People have to be careful running behind these Democrats because they're destroying everything in sight. Cancer. Both parties, and I'm not an endorser of any party. Both parties are no good. Both parties are no point. But the Democrats are the more dangerous because they're the good guys. And I'm pro-choice only because I just believe in people making their own choices, be them good, be them bad. I made 4 choices all throughout my life. I'm probably gonna make a lot more until I get it right. Um, but I don't believe in restrictions. I'm pro-choice, but the culture that the liberal Democrats are bringing, making it just only a women's rights issue, they're demonic. These people are evil, and not the collective, the people at the top, the people who are responsible for popularizing these groups and at the forefront of shaping the base, the ideology of the base. They're demonic, and people who get abortions, it should always be done solemn. It should always be done. There's cases where people have gotten raped. There's cases where people have a health issue that pregnancy could threaten. There's a lot of decisions that people have to make for themselves. But the culture of it's women's right, and you got to watch these liberals. They're insane. They're demonic and insane, and they're lost. They're confused. They never know what they're talking about. This is not just solely a women's rights issue. There is a child. There's life, and there's a lifestyle. And I didn't realize that because I used to, run around with the liberals, like thinking how they think, which is not thinking at all. And there is an issue with the culture of having sex carefree and getting pregnant very irresponsibly and then killing that should kind of be in your mind too. It's not just women's choice, a women's rights issue. It's a lifestyle. It's a culture discussion. Am I still pro-choice? Yeah, but the culture and how the liberal Democrats frame this, no, I don't stand with them on any issue. Be careful of that. So yeah, on record, I will always say I'm pro-choice. I've always been pro-choice, and I'm not going to judge and condemn someone else's decisions, even though I may strongly disagree. My position on abortion has changed through the years. Before, it was more from a liberal mindset. Hey, you know, probably would have thought, yeah, women. You can't tell women. I was probably talking like one of them. Jeez, thank God I'm cured. Um, but yeah, there's other things to consider, and it should be a solemn, private decision, and it shouldn't be. I just don't like how it's framed. Um, Other stuff going on. What are they hiding? They're still coming with this mask. I'm seeing a lot of masked people, and it's just, God bless them. The brainwashing is deep, It's really thick. I broke it down in a Rockfin video. I don't think I'm going to go over it again. How the masks were never about flattening the curve. They don't do anything. I was in the. I had to go to court, right? And in the courtroom, um, there was police officers that just got up. And they know I'm a divine masculine on an energetic level. They don't know anything, but on an energetic level, it's like my energy. Lets people know, okay, this guy, we need to get up and get in his face about this. So, hey, when I walk into the courtroom, hey, do you got a mask? The law, it's not mandated anymore, but they're still doing it in the courts. Like, they're still playing with you, like, they're violating your rights. And, like, I didn't have the time or the energy to go at it. There were police officers this time. So I'm like, okay, choices. We source players are being tested. A lot of us are going through things. We're being tested. The system is like putting scenarios in our path, and we have options. Choose. These officers are coming in my face and telling me about the masks, and I'm like, no, I don't wear them. No, that's okay. We have one for you. And I was talking on Rockfin, like they handed me a surgical mask, and it's been proven and understood for the past 2 years that surgical masks don't do anything. It's for sterile environments. So why are you handing out surgical masks? Like I said, it's for surgery. It's for sterile environments during surgery. It says it on the box that it doesn't do anything. It's not for transmission of diseases or anything. But these people are on autopilot. There's no brain. There's no logic. There's no reason. There's no thinking. They're the sim people, just doing things, just doing what they're told. And me as a source player, I just have to play along with these mindless entities that look human. And it's just like, yeah, all right, I'll wear the surgical mask. You got me. You're dealing with programming, indoctrination. I was in the library during my Rockfin video, and you're seeing people walking with the mask. It doesn't do anything. They made you believe that they are using so much high level indoctrination techniques and strategies, and they've used them all. I was actually really impressed. Like, they've used so many high level indoctrination techniques. And it's funny, I have a new friend that I met in Florida that she said, Drew, she's like, thank God I met someone who is awake and someone I can talk to, because this is bad. And she explained, she's like, I totally woke up. You know why? Because my husband was a cheater and a liar, but he was smooth, and my people were telling me, my friends were telling me, but I didn't believe until finally I found out he was cheating, he was lying. And it was because of that I am aware of everything that's going on. The politicians, the media, the lies. Like, I can see that now because of what I've gone through. And I'm like, yeah, yeah. And some people have woken up naturally. Some people, if you didn't wake up during the past 2 years, you're never going to wake up. And I see a lot of people, and they're just sheeping around. They're never going to wake up. And I spoke of a split. You're seeing people who are becoming sheepier and sheepier and sheepier. They're still wearing the mask, even though it's not mandated. They're walking around. They can't breathe. They're wearing the mask. They need it. They're on their 99th booster. They're done. Let them go. And then you see another side of society who are waking up. Like, hey, you know what? The slap. I don't think that was real. You know what? The things that they show me on TV. There's something fishy. There's something wrong. You know, you can't have gone through this past 2 years. If you didn't wake up in the past few years, you're never going to. You're done. Yeah. It's not in these people's life cycle. In this, like, I don't want to get into deep stuff in this video. This video is pretty much just to say, hey, I'm alive, I'm well, all is well. But, I'm respecting that it's just not in some people's life cycle to wake up during this life cycle. They got to come around a few more times and learn. And, maybe eventually they'll wake up. They jabbed themselves up, so they're going somewhere else. But I am not to judge. But for those of you who are awake, and I said it in the other video, I don't want to be repetitive and say the same things, but it's not bad to challenge your normie friends that are still masking up, because I don't think these people understand what we just averted. I also mentioned in the other video Orwell's prediction quote: "The future is a boot on a human face forever." And he was talking about what we're living through. They tried so hard to bring about the new world order, and they almost did it. They failed. This whole agenda, they failed. But don't we're not going back to normal. They're not done. So even though they've lightened up the restrictions and they got rid of the face diapers, they're coming back with it. Look at China, Canada, Australia. There's other places in the world where they have no intentions of letting up. They have no intentions of letting up, and they're figuring out a way to come back. They wanted so much social conditioning, so much fear, so many things, so that they can bring about this agenda where you would need your card, and eventually from your card you would need something else to be up to date with your concoction, and it would be required for commerce, for jobs, for travel, for everything, for getting into places. And then they tried, and they stuck it out. It was a very, very, very historical, interesting time, because they were going full speed ahead, and they were breaking your will. They were breaking our will, and they almost succeeded because they wanted to see how many sheep there were, and there was a hell of a lot, but there was too much of a strong resistance. They didn't televise any of it. There was a strong resistance all over the world, and shout out to all of you people who were part of that, resisting, getting fired. A lot of the people just kind of went along with the job and obeyed and bent over and spread their cheeks. No judgment. But, they got coerced into doing it. But there's a lot of people who held out, and they didn't get the amount of people that they thought they could get. They didn't get everybody. They had a very annoying, like, I would damn near say 40%. They wanted to get, in this country alone, they wanted to get at least 70%, because if they got 70% of the people compliant and chipped up, they can just bully the remaining 30% into 15%, and then the 15% live like vagabonds. You don't get anywhere. You can't go anywhere. You can't go to any concerts. Can't do anything. And that's what they wanted. They wanted to get at least to 70%. The remaining 30%, they can lean on them and lean on them and lean on them to break it down to another 15%. And the last 15%, which I would probably be part of, would be like living bearded in the woods hunting. Hey, I was ready. I was ready. Because I can't be broken. I'm not here to serve the God of this world, so to speak. And I was talking about the conditioning with the face diaper, like the reasons why. I guess I'll break it down again. It was a ritual. It was a ritual, and people don't understand that because they're not into the occult. Two, it was a part of the social conditioning for the fear porn. Visual reminder everywhere you go. It was part of the terror. It was part of the agenda. They were showing you bodies and deaths and deaths and deaths through the legacy media. They were hitting you over the head. And this was also a visual reminder, a visual terror. Three was organized inconvenience. They needed you to stand here, do this. You're gonna have a lockdown. You're gonna have a lockdown this month. You can't get on this plane. They were organized inconveniences so that you took the synthesis when they was ready. They rolled out the golden cure. They needed to. It was all fictitious, and people couldn't see through the through the forest, through the trees, that the emperor had no clothes. They were creating all the illusions that you needed to do this. You could have done whatever you wanted, breathed the air, walked where you wanted. But they have you so locked in the matrix, all of us so locked in the matrix, that we want to be free. We want to go outside. You could have gone outside whenever the hell you wanted to, but people don't think with their own brain and their own mind. And people just wanted to be free. I'll take the not funny, but this is what they did. They were using high level strategies of indoctrination and brainwashing. And so it was organized inconveniences and this face diaper and standing here. That was all part of their thing that they planned. And lastly was social conditioning for the New World Order, a new world of obedience. And they wanted to see how many sheep they had. They wanted you to make sure you wear this. You got to wear it to travel up. And they punished you and they gave you a hard time if you didn't. They put people on the news as the crazy people, the crazy Trump people that were rebelling. And they were doing that for a while. They were trying to socially engineer obedience and compliance so that they can take that to the next stage. These people who are all when you're all masked up and you're obeying and you're fully, they worked you over. They can bring a lot of these people right over to the next phase of being up to date with your boosters, being up to date with so when you have your cards and you need your card to go to work, you need your card to travel, your card becomes the next thing, and the next thing becomes the next thing. I'm not going to say these things because I don't want videos that getting flagged, so I'm not going to. But yeah, their plan failed. But then, make no mistake, they're not done. Make no mistake, they're not done. Yeah. So, guys, I'm gonna take off. I got some things to do. I got to go back to New York before I go back to Florida. But just want to let everyone know I'm alive and well. I'm doing fine, and I'm enjoying all of this. And just to, in each of your lives, work on your cycles. There's things that you can. We're playing a video game, pretty much. This life, our soul, our higher self, that's eternal for most of us. That's eternal, and we're going through this experience. We're gonna learn. These experiences. We take this with us. Don't take things so personally. Don't lash out at people who are good people. If you know deep in your heart and soul that this is a good person who's just fumbling around, they didn't mean whatever you're mad at. Don't be vicious to good people, other source players, because it's not good and it's going to come back around. Don't take things too personally. Don't beat yourself up about things. Like I had to, take a moment because I was not having a good mental health month, and that helped me to realize that, hey, don't be reactionary, don't be negative, don't be mean-spirited to good people, and live with a sense of understanding. Live on a higher vibration where you understand and live with love and forgiveness in your heart. And yeah, there's times when there's some people that you have to let go because you need to move on from them because they're toxic. Because some people are on a different vibration, on a negative vibration. But if you're those who are not on a negative vibration, being treated like you're a toxic person, don't sweat it. People are going through their processes, and you know what? Sometimes you're meant to learn something from that. It's not a negative. It's just something that needs to, spark plug, bring you back to life. I'm someone that people don't want to mess with me because I'm a good person. I don't have any enemies, but I'm meant to learn a lesson, and I'm not going to learn it through comfort and everybody rubbing my back and me getting along with everyone. No, I make some mistakes. And the universe is not going to keep giving me leeway. Yeah, we love you, Drew. You're a good person, but you're going to still do your stuff. No, you're going to learn painfully. And yeah, I learned. I don't want to feel like this. I don't want to feel loss. I don't want to feel guilt. There's a lot of people who are going through things that I can't be there for because I fumbled things. And the reason is because during the relationship, I wasn't the best version of myself. And when you're not the best version of yourself, you're not psychologically balanced and healthy enough to respond to serious situations when they occur because your mind is here, there, and everywhere. And me personally, to each his own. You all got to do your own thing. But me personally, I have to realize that I am a creative person, an eccentric, with an alternative life. And, sometimes I'm out here with my parents. I need to do that more often. I need to experience my friends and family more often, get out of the box, really bring myself in contact and communication with the people I love a little bit more often. because you're going to be unwell and socially awkward if you're too cut off, which is what I was in this age of anti-social media. Talking to people online and just WhatsApp messages, you're not really experiencing each other. People don't know who the hell I am, and they're mad at projections of me because we're so disconnected. Be real, be open, be authentic, and learn the lessons from your cycles. I learned mine big time. Communication and being a better communicator with my friends and loved ones at all times. If something bothers you, for the love of God, don't hold it in. Don't hold it in. Address it. Because if you don't, it's going to come out bad in another way, at another time, at a bad time. Be open, honest, authentic, and live your life and enjoy your life. Enjoy people around you. And live on a high vibration of love and understanding and forgiveness, and that's also going to come around to you when you do that. All right. So until the next one, guys, I'm going to enjoy the day a little bit more. I'll kiss my mom, and I'll see you in the next one.